Hey everyone, how's it going? It's me, Krystal V, and I am back with another tarot video. So last week we spoke about the structure and the stability of the fours and the Emperor card. This week we're going to talk about the Hierophant or Hierophant, however you want to say it, tomato, tomato, or in the Tarot de Marseille, Le Pape, which translates to the Pope, which sort of is what the Hierophant represents. The head of a religious organization, the teacher, the translator of sacred texts. All of these themes come into play with the Hierophant. So the Hierophant has to deal a lot with communications, also with self-knowledge and expansion. So this could also deal with teaching. And when you pull the Hierophant, sometimes you're at a bit of a crossroads. It might be a pivotal point for you in your life where you decide whether you're going to be a follower or a leader, whether you're going to be a student or a teacher. And when you do draw the Hierophant, it will affect the next life cycle that you're going to be leaving or joining. So it can also represent a spiritual challenge. So maybe more so one of suggested morality or, a challenge that in regards to transition to a higher level of self. Being more true with yourself as well. Sometimes the Hierophant also deals with themes of freedom. Are you living your life to its freest extent? And also, with that question, brings about change. A lot of the times, the Hierophant or Le Pape card is all about change, pivotal points, or points of transition in one's life. It could also suggest that you're about to make a decision as well. And it can also herald an opportunity to move to the next level. All of these themes also suggest adapting to the next cycle as well. So sometimes that can be a little bit chaotic. There can be a lot of chaos associated with the fives of the tarot, including the Hierophant. And I think a lot of that is just because it's a moment where something is in translation. It's a moment where something is in expansion. You might be traveling, you might not be at home, which the fours, when we were talking about before, that's more of a home vibration. It's more of your stability and structure and where you position yourself comfortably. So, of course, with self-knowledge, there is an expansion that's involved. There can be a little bit of chaos because that's a learning process. And with all of that, we have to learn how to be flexible in our communications as well. So do we stay where we are and remain comfortable, or are we up for a spiritual challenge? And are we going to be a follower, or are we going to assume the position of a leader and a teacher? So those are some of the themes that are associated with the Hierophant or Le Pape as well. So, also it leads to social interactions too. So it might actually be pulled when you're about to mix into larger groups that you've never really mixed into before. Maybe different social communications that you're not used to. So it can be a little bit chaotic, but it causes you to actually absorb different methods of communication and different methods of knowledge from others, which leads to self-knowledge and self-expansion. So yeah, we're going to start with the Five of Swords. And I think I usually almost always start with swords or wands. But we're going to start with the swords here. And as you can see, there's a bright red blade on this Five of Swords. And that means action, is what it means. So usually when the five is drawn, the Five of Swords, it means that you might be using, you might be expanding your mind or your knowledge. It could also indicate the fact that there might be some sort of mental conflict at hand, or just conflict in general. It might also indicate that you might be leaving a stable place mentally and going into something a little bit more unknown. So getting out of your comfort zone. It could also indicate a combat that has been won, or an argument, or an argument that's been won, but this argument may have caused you to become more independent. So a lot of the times when we transition to a higher level or we expand, we have to cut some things out that no longer serve us, and sometimes that does mean conflict. Or conflict of interests even, or conflict of thoughts. So it does take a little bit of adapting, especially on a self-knowledge level. So harnessing the mind, winning a battle, but also furthering yourself. So yeah, a lot of these. And if you can see in the Smith Waite, it's almost like, yeah, this guy won the battle and those other two people are turning back. But now this figure is alone. So it's kind of like he's leaving his group, meaning that he's forging on in a different way. And that's what we're talking about, following or leading. So are we just going to follow the rest of the pack mentally? And are we going to just follow the thoughts of others? Or are we going to assume our own thoughts and assume our own know-how through certain subjects? So those are some questions that you might want to ask yourself when you draw the Five of Swords. And again, the swords, I'll reiterate, yang energy, so male energy, action-based, projecting-based, and are also the element of air. So next, we have the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands indicates growth, as an expansion creatively or passionately. It also means that we've been having some sort of chaotic busyness surrounding our creative aspects or our job aspects. It could also mean a pivotal point where we stop following everybody else's ideas and we start generating our own ideas surrounding creative projects. So if you can see here in this Smith Waite version, there's a bunch of people that are battling with these wands, and they can't really agree. They can't really agree on something. So sometimes the Five of Wands also means agreeing to disagree, and just to walk away from the situation and treat it as a learning curve. So again, a pivotal point. Where you might break off and expand from a job or a creative group, or even a spiritual group as well. Or this could also indicate a battle within to produce things creatively as well. So yeah, the Five of Wands can also mean conflicting ideas and wanting freedom from the everyday. So that's the wands. The wands indicate that yang energy as well, that male projecting energy, and also indicate that that fire element as well, that phallic energy. So next we have the cups. We have the Five of Cups here on the Marseille deck, and the Five of Cups is letting go of some of your emotional past. It could also mean chaotic emotional feelings. It can mean emotional transition. It can mean separating from somebody emotionally. It could also mean or translate to emotional healing as well. So letting go of the past and focusing on the actual emotional energy that is in front of you, that new abundant emotional energy, instead of dwelling on things from the past. So again, that choice to be a follower or a leader. Did you want to follow your past, or do you want to lead on into something new, something chaotic, something unknown, but something that is an adventure and will help you get to know yourself a little bit better? So if you see here in the Smith Waite, you can also see this figure that's looking inward at the three cups here, he's basically crying over spilt milk, essentially. So that's sort of one of the vibrations of the Five of Cups. Like you've, what's done has been done, and now it's time to look at the other side of the coin and realize that we still have some emotional resources available, and to move on from this past situation with some emotional healing. So again, the cups are water, are the water element, and they also represent yin energy, so that feminine receptive energy, that flexible energy. Okay, so next we've got the Five of Pentacles, and we've got the Marseille here and the Smith weight here. And the Five of Pentacles, as you can see on the Smith weight, these people are being kicked out of a sanctuary or a church, and they have nowhere to go. So this could mean that soon financial means are going to be tight, and that we need to not be impulsive with our financial decisions or health decisions. It could indicate also a pivotal period regarding our where we live, or our homestead. It could also indicate changing jobs as well, because that is in regard to financial matters. But when it is shown in a reading, it usually means try not to be impulsive with financial decisions or health decisions. Be cautious of any of the investments that you make. And also now might not be a good time to move. It could also mean that budgets might be tight soon, so it's good to start saving. All of these sort of themes. The Five of Pentacles is also, reminiscent of the element earth. So some of your creature comforts might be changing soon. You might be up for living a little bit of a nomadic lifestyle too. So those are just some things to consider. So again, yes, the Pentacles are the element earth, and they are also a yin energy, feminine energy, that receptive type of energy as well. So again, with all of the fives, when you do draw a five in the minor arcana, or if you even draw a five with the Hierophant, it has a lot to do with decision making and communications, and also a period in time in learning about yourself. So hopefully you've learned a little bit from what I've described about the fives. If you have any more questions or concerns, or if you apply a different meaning to the Hierophant, that would be really cool to hear about it. Thank you for watching my channel. I really appreciate people subscribing, and I really, really appreciate the feedback. If there's anything else I can do for you, let me know. And next week we will talk about the sixes. I also think I'm going to be doing a video regarding one of my favorite spreads too. It's called the Tarot of Transformation. It is a 5-card spread. So look forward to a video on that as well. 5-card spread, the fives. Yeah. I've got this. Okay. I'll see y'all later. Have a great day, evening, week, month, whatever. Thanks a lot. Bye.